Hey friends, welcome back to FTD News. My name is Sarah Carvalho and I've got another reaction video for you today. I'm going to be reacting to some of the most angry outbursts on live TV. Let's get right into it.
In late February 2020, convicted Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich appeared on CNN to talk with Anderson
Blagojevich.
Cooper.
That's a
Blagojevich
mouthful.
was serving 14 years in prison for soliciting bribes, a sentence later commuted by President Donald Trump on February 18th, 2020. Blagojevich is playing up his prison time, referring to himself as a political prisoner and comparing himself to Nelson Mandela.
And that is the shocking
What a
fact.
loser.
I just got to stop you. I'm sorry. As someone who's worked in South Africa and saw apartheid, the idea that you are comparing yourself to somebody who has actually been railroaded by an apartheid system
It's crap.
just nuts.
Cooper rightfully calls this comparison offensive, but that's not all. As the interview goes on, Cooper grows increasingly resentful and impatient with Blagojevich's statements, and he eventually refers to his alternate universe of facts as bullshit.
You do have an obligation to at least admit what you did wrong, and you refuse to do that, and you're creating a whole new alternate universe of facts, and that may be big in politics today, but it's still, frankly, just bullshit.
This isn't the first time that Cooper has spoken his mind. Back on Anderson Live, he called the so-called human Barbie a dreadful person and cut the interview short.
I try to be really polite to all my guests. I just think you're dreadful, and I honestly don't want to talk to you anymore, so I'm just going to...
Oh no!
Number 9.
That's awkward.
Weatherman's cold response. We all get a case of the winter blues sooner or later. It affects some people worse than others, even the meteorologists.
Predicting the weather accurately is a multi-billion-dollar industry that can affect businesses and literally save lives. So there is a lot of pressure on weather forecasters, which might explain why they sometimes snap.
In 2018, a Grand Rapids, Michigan meteorologist named Gary Frank let loose on one particularly cold day, venting not as much about the cold weather, but the reactions and expectations of his coworkers for constantly complaining about it.
Well, because you guys are dragging me down. You guys keep... Well, every time I get done with the 7-day, you guys are like, oh, gosh, oh. Every time.
His sarcastic rant includes mimicking his coworkers' disappointed sighs and suggesting maybe he should just misrepresent the weather to be warmer to make everyone happy. It's actually refreshing to see such human moments like this on the news.
It's not his
Doesn't
fault.
matter what time I come on. 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, and then you expect me to be chipper for 5 straight hours. It's miserable.
Aww.
Number 8.
I feel
Anchor
bad.
Untethered. Back in 2009, Drew Smith, a news anchor for SNN News 6 in Sarasota, Florida, had very little patience for poorly worded transcripts. After struggling to get through a story, Smith sighs in frustration and hangs his head in shame.
In her will, Smith also intentionally omitted to provide for her spouse and other heirs, including future spouses and children, and other descendants. They will...
After a brief pause, Smith brandishes his copy of the script and asks,
Who writes this stuff?
and asks either the crew or the viewers at home if they are as confused as he is.
Are you guys lost like I am?
Before continuing on, Smith seemingly answers his earlier question by stating, quote, some intern at NBC News Channel writes this crap. But we get it. Poorly worded news is confusing for everyone, and quality control is important.
Some intern at NBC News Channel writes this crap.
Number 7, Alexi Lawless.
I can see how he would be
speaks his mind.
frustrated.
Sports commentators aren't one to mince words. If a performance sucks, they're going to tell you about it. And Alexi Lawless, a former soccer star and pundit for Fox Sports, certainly told us about it.
It's dark days indeed, but this is a time for leaders to step up. And so to the supposed leaders, I will say this. All right.
While covering a match between the Seattle Sounders and LA Galaxy,
I want to hear it.
Lawless unleashes a barrage of insults against the national United States soccer team. He singles out specific people, including Tim Howard, Jeff Cameron, and Clint Dempsey, and says that those that he didn't single out, quote, don't even warrant a mention.
Tim Howard. Tim, the Belgium game ended 3 years ago. We need you to save the ball now. Jeff Cameron, clean it up or let's get someone who will. Clint Dempsey, yeah, you're a national team legend. Now we need you to be a national team leader.
And that's before calling them all, quote, soft, underperforming, tattooed millionaires. We don't know if this is tough love or just straight up mean.
You're going to continue to be a bunch of soft, underperforming, tattooed millionaires? You are a soccer generation that has been given everything. You are a soccer generation who is on the verge of squandering everything.
Number 6, let me talk, Carol. If this list proves anything, it's that meteorologists are hanging on by a thread. The This outburst concerns Chad Myers, the severe weather expert for CNN.
Okay, so Chad,
let me talk, Carol.
Translate that for us. I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Well, if you would let me talk.
While discussing Hurricane Katrina, anchor Carol Costello interrupts Myers and asks him to clarify the complex and technical terminology that he's using. Myers proceeds to yell, "Let me talk, Carol," and throws his papers on the ground in frustration. Costello and Myers both laugh the incident off, and Myers states that he was just having fun with Costello. It seems clear that they do this simply to diffuse the palpable tension, because Myers was obviously not having fun. He is
definitely some tension there.
Thank you, Chad.
All right, just having fun with it this morning.
I know.
Yeah,
it's a stressful time, I know.
Number 5, burning with frustration. This is a hot one. Okay, not literally, but there is fire involved. Mika Brzezinski is the co-host of MSNBC's Morning Joe, a weekday morning political talk show. Back in 2007, Brzezinski grew frustrated with the constant coverage of Paris Hilton.
Hold on a second. I'm going to make a point. We're not covering this, all right?
Whoa!
I'm done with the Paris Hilton story.
Ooh, she's
happy.
She's losing it.
On fire, saying, quote, "I'm done with the Paris Hilton story." When her co-anchor takes the lighter away, Brzezinski gets up and throws the papers into a nearby paper shredder.
This is my Paris Hilton story.
What a statement. That is a statement about the state of journalism.
She's done.
You have changed
She's
the world,
over
Mika
it.
Brzezinski. How can you give us...
At least my world.
When reflecting on the moment for a 10-year anniversary special, co-anchor Willie Geist called it, quote, "a symbolic moment for the show," in that Brzezinski was refusing to air and discuss such trivial matters of celebrity.
This is the way things have sort of been done. These are the things you've seen talked about in the morning. Yeah. They're literally going into a shredder and we're starting something new.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Mika, Mika got called to the front office and they were going to yell at her.
No, I did get yelled at.
Number 4,
oh,
Ben Affleck
I'm sure she
gets
did.
worked up. Back in October 2014, Ben Affleck appeared on the talk show Real Time with Bill Maher alongside author and podcast host Sam Harris. And it didn't take long for the fireworks to really get going. The discussion veers towards the subjects of radical Islam and Islamophobia, and battle lines are quickly drawn.
You're saying that Islamophobia is not a real thing. That if you're critical of something...
Well, it's not a real thing when we do it.
Right.
Well, no, it really isn't.
I'm not denying that certain people are bigoted against Muslims as people. And that's a problem.
Big of you.
Are you freaking for real?
But why are you so hostile about this?
It's gross. It's racist.
Maher claims that Islam is the only religion that acts like the mafia, and Harris says that
but why is the motherload of bad ideas.
The Oscar winner then goes off on the two men, calling their assertions gross, racist, and ugly things to say. All this while sitting back in his chair in frustration and muttering "Jesus Christ" under his breath. So suffice it to say, he didn't agree with their opinions.
Anyone who does is a piece of crap.
You know what I mean?
Well, what if the people...
As a Filipino kid lives down the street from you would have nothing to do with that.
Number 3, walking away from Bill O'Reilly.
Please welcome Bill O'Reilly.
And here we have another disagreement arising over religion and extremism. Back in 2010, political commentator Bill O'Reilly appeared on The View to promote his book Pinheads and Patriots, Where You Stand in the Age of Obama. The discussion turns towards an Islamic community center called Park 51, then scheduled to be built near Ground Zero.
Let me break this to you. 70% of Americans don't want that mosque down there, so don't give me the weebies.
O'Reilly claims without proof that, quote, 70% of Americans don't want that, and
You're
that
pulling
it's
them out of your butt?
quote, because Muslims killed us on 9/11.
Muslims killed us on 9/11.
Whoopi yells, "Oh my God,"
up.
shoots back in her seat and swears at O'Reilly before she and Joy Behar storm off the set. This is anything but scripted, just a real impassioned reaction.
You're outraged about Muslims killed us on 9/11.
He deserves a walkout.
Number 2,
He's a sick
Jim
piece
Ryan
of crap.
versus Dick Oliver. This legendary argument took place on July 19th, 2001. Good Day New York anchorman Jim Ryan is watching a report from Dick Oliver on a landlord-tenant dispute. It's pretty normal, everyday stuff, until it isn't.
All right, it's back to you, Jim.
Ollie, don't let her go away. That's what. Does she have a response to that? Is she still there?
What's that?
Did the lady just leave?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
After Oliver lets his tenant
he's getting schooled.
leave, Ryan chastises him for the quality of his reporting. This results in a bitter and very awkward back and forth on live television, and you can see the tenant cringing and suppressing a laugh in the background.
I'll give you lessons on how to become a reporter later.
Well, I'll give you some lessons on how to be an editor because I was your boss once.
Yeah, you were.
Oh my God!
No, no longer. How did that happen?
This incident would become so infamous that it inspired Bill Hader's Herb Welch character on Saturday Night Live, with Hader portraying an elderly reporter as combative as he is incompetent.
Please just ask the question.
Who started this thing?
Well, a couple of us.
Oh my God.
Spill the beans.
Number 1, Mike Tyson blows his stack. Back in 1992, Mike Tyson was sentenced to 6 years in prison for the rape of 18-year-old Desiree Washington. This topic was brought up years later in 2014 when Tyson was visiting Toronto's CP24 news channel on a promotional tour after meeting with the city's then mayor Rob Ford.
First time probably in the history of Toronto where the mayor is bigger than the whole city. You know, he's the biggest celebrity than everybody in the city. Everybody wants to see the mayor. And he's a really dynamic character.
News anchor Nathan Downer broaches the idea that the mayoral meeting could possibly have interfered with Ford's election race, as Tyson is a convicted rapist.
I don't have no comment to that, you know, because it's negative and you're being negative. And I met the mayor, and nothing they can do about it.
And Tyson is not happy. He initially responds in a seemingly controlled manner before utterly and profanely losing his composure multiple times, eventually calling Downer,
"It's more nerve-wracking for me to hear talking to a rat piece of shit like you." Come on, Mike.
Downer reminds Tyson that they were on live TV, but he doesn't seem to care.
A rat
like, at
piece
all.
We're gonna wrap up this interview. Thank you for coming.
All right, friends, there you have it. Some of the most heated outbursts from people on media outlets. I don't know about you, but some of those were pretty upsetting and just inappropriate. I mean, I can see very well why some of these people had outbursts and were upset enough to go crazy on live TV. So we'll catch you right here next time for more news reactions. See you later.